Hi everyone, it's me, Joe. This is the one you've all been waiting for. The story about my ex-boyfriend, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, it's taken me a while to get through all the memories and to sort them out, and it was really hard to relive some of them, even just by thinking about them, but I think I've gotten it all out of my system, so here it goes. I want to do this chronologically. I'm going to start with the good, then go into the bad, and then we'll get into the ugly. So this video is the good. So after Todd left, I thought about it. I said he had a boyfriend, and the more I thought about it, he didn't move in with his boyfriend. I never knew why, and I never really asked, but I think it had to do something. I think Bobby and Todd had either a falling out. They didn't really have a falling out because we still stayed friends after he moved out. I just think he wanted to move out on his own. But anyway, so like I said, we were still friends. We would go over to Todd's house, and that was where when Bobby and I went over to Todd's house to visit, and that's when they made me up as a drag queen. I do remember that now, and we would have sleepovers, but it wasn't like the friends with benefit type. It was just we would just go over, have a few too many drinks, and I wouldn't want to drive home because I don't like to drive drunk, so we would just stay the night. And Todd knew that Bobby and I were already boyfriends. So anyway, getting back to Bobby, I just wanted to explain Todd's situation. We still stayed friends, we still went out together, and it wasn't nothing bad. So anyway, Bobby and we would share time with each other. I would go to his apartment and spend the night, we would watch movies, cuddle, and I would stay the night, and he would come up to my apartment and do the same thing. And then it sort of progressed into what I guess you would call friends with benefits. We were friends. We were quote unquote boyfriends, but living in different apartments. And it was just confusing, to say the least. So one night, I brought this up to Bobby. I said, this is getting really confusing. How can we be boyfriends and not live with each other or not be in the same apartment? And it's like, this friends with benefits or boyfriends with benefits in different apartments was starting to get on my nerves. And I brought that up to Bobby. And we worked at the same restaurant here in Ohio. And this was sort of like, I was always wanting to move in together, and Bobby seemed like he always wanted to keep his distance. I think it was because of how I presented it to him and made him feel obligated to be my boyfriend or lose me as a friend. So I think he was kind of hesitant about getting our place together with us. So this went on, and it would he would sort of bring it up at work, and I wasn't out at work, even though he was. And he would bring up arguments with me over the cook's line because he expected me to make sure his orders came out before other people's orders because I was his quote-unquote boyfriend. And I didn't really, go for that. I just said, your order is in line, and your order will come out when it comes out. You know, and he didn't like that. So anyway, we ended up getting different jobs because we just could not work together whatsoever. Because Bobby always had this attitude that he came from, he was an only child. He didn't have any brothers or sisters. He was an only child, and he got his way all the time. And I hate to say it, but it sort of followed him up into his adulthood because he always had to have his way. And of course, with me coming from a family of 5 boys and me being the oldest, that kind of shit didn't hold water with me. You know, I had a younger brother who he thought he was supposed to get, you know, he was the youngest, he was the baby, you know, and he would have his little temper tantrums, and, you know, I'd just ignore him. You know, it's just like, you know, when you have a temper tantrum, they're just doing it to get your attention and to get what they want. So it's a mind game. It's psychological. And anyway, we had our little psychological battles. Okay, and so he finally broke down and said, yeah, okay, I think it's time to move, because we both lived in this apartment building, and it was an old apartment building. It had steam heat. If you don't know what that is, it's like there's a radiator, and water goes into it, the hot water, and it radiates the hot, and it never worked. The apartments didn't have air conditioning. And there was only one side of the building that had windows, so you couldn't get a nice cross breeze through the apartment. So you either had to buy your own air conditioning, window air conditioning, which is what I did. But yeah, it was just an old apartment, and we were both getting, all 3 of us, my brother Bobby and I, we were both getting really tired of the radiators going down during the winter time, and it would get like freezing cold, or you'd be in the middle of the night and the radiators would stop, and you'd have to call the landlord at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning and tell him it's like, 50 degrees in the apartment, that the furnace downstairs stopped working, and he'd have to come up. And he lived, I think he lived like maybe about a half an hour from the apartment, so you had to wait a while for him to get there. So anyway, yeah, we all got tired of living there. So we had like 4 to 5 months on our lease. And Bobby started getting into this impatientness. It's like, I want to move. We got to move now. I can't stand it anymore. And I'm like, I know, but we can't break our lease because we still have like 4 or 5 months left. And he goes, well, I don't know about you, but if you're not going to move with me, I'm just going to move. And I was just like, okay. So here he is. He's playing the ultimatum game on me now. So I thought hard, deep and hard about it. And then while I was thinking about it, the job that I had fell through. They basically, for the life of me, I can't remember why they let me go or why I got fired. I don't know if it was because of I think I was causing too much fights, because I would carry over our fights at home with Bobby and me to the workplace, and I would take it out on the waitresses. And I think I got fired because I kept on doing that. But anyway, I got fired from my job. And I thought, well, I think it's time to move. I don't have a job. I can't pay for the place anyway. So I said, okay, let's move. So we finally found an apartment building across the river in Ohio. okay? But going back to Wheeling for the good part, you know, I didn't want to move because my brother still had his job there in Wheeling, and Bobby still had his job. I mean, I was thinking maybe we could just, you know, sign out from one lease and just, you know, join together in one apartment. But Bobby was just like, no, no, I want to get out of here. I don't like this apartment. I was like, okay, well, let's strike that idea. So I said, well, I got to talk to my brother first and see what he thinks. And I asked my brother, I said, Bobby and I are thinking about moving. I want to know how you feel about it. I said, we're tired of this old place. We're tired of the heat going out all the time. And my brother said, oh, yeah, let's move. I said, he goes, because I'm tired of this shit too. And I'm like, okay, we'll move. So basically, we were breaking the lease. And what we did was, I mean, both apartments came furnished. So all we really had to pack was our personal items that we collected while we were living there, you know, our clothes. So I told Bobby, I said, let's give ourselves a week to get our packing done, get all the packing done and have it ready. So then we could, and then while we were packing, we were also looking around in Ohio for apartments. And we finally found this one apartment that we both liked. So we put like $100 deposit down on it and told him to hold it for us. And then we finished up our packing, contacted the landlord of the new apartment building, made arrangements to sign the lease with him, pay the rest of, and I remember telling Bobby, I said, you know, I just lost my job. And I said, I don't have that kind of money to fork out for it. He goes, and he was a server. So he made some money just in tips alone. And within a week's time, he had enough money saved up to pay for the first month's rent. He says, well, I'll pay for the first month's rent, and when you get a job, you can just pay me back. He goes, I just want to get out of here and I want to move. And I said, okay, fine. So that's what we did. We, you know, set up an appointment to see the new landlord, signed the lease, paid him first month, and I think last month rent, but Bobby had that all covered, so I didn't really worry about it. I just made sure that, you know, we got there and everything, packing my brother and myself up. So Bobby took care of that, and I told him, I said, well, you know, I'll pay you back. He goes, I know you will. So anyway, seeing that we were breaking the lease, Bobby wanted to move at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So that's what we did. We packed up both cars. I mean, luckily everything fit in both our cars, my car and Bobby's car. So we packed up the cars, and I think we left the key to the we left the apartment unlocked with the key on the kitchen table or the counter. Right when you come in the front door, there was a place, and that's where we sat our keys. And then we just moved. And so that's about the end of this one. So like I always say, be kind to one another and take care, and I'll see you the next time. Bye.